All right, guys. So this is recording now. We are going to go ahead and start going over our update that we have. As I'm sure a lot of you are aware, but some of you may not know, Sahu is community owned and community ran. The community took over a little over 2 weeks ago, and we've since been working hard to get some structure and some goals and implement some things. But ultimately, we've been working hard to get this going somewhere, to give it a direction and to give it a future, and to make it something that can be prosperous for everybody in the community. Sahu is about community, and that's why we believe that we are going to go places, because we have one of the best communities out there as far as being able to see a need, get in where you fit in, fill that need, and help in any way possible. Whether it's you have extra finances to donate to marketing, or you can give some time to help shill, or whatever it is, we're just grateful to have such an amazing community that's willing to do these things. So this week has been a really, really big week. We've really got some things going. We have our white paper published, which is pretty awesome. That was one of our goals to get done before the end of the week. So that is now listed on our website. You can go to the sahufinance.com website and see the white paper. This is important because it just lends credibility to us, especially when applying for some of these listings or some of these exchanges. A white paper is one of the things that they're looking for. The other thing is the audit. We've contacted several companies and tried to get a bid from them. One of them that has been very punctual in returning to us a bid was Solidity Finance, and so we officially have enough in the marketing fund now, in the community trust fund, to pay for that audit, which is pretty awesome. So once again, thank you to all the community out there, everybody that was able to donate. It will be spent accordingly, and I guarantee you it was a good investment, and we appreciate those donations. Um, so that audit, we are planning on getting the funds sent out this afternoon to get that started, and hopefully, I'm not sure if they work on weekends or not, but hopefully we'll be able by Monday sometime or Tuesday have some sort of publishment on this, publishing on this audit, to where we can say, hey guys, here's our audit. And this is just as important as a white paper, because as most of you know, and some of you may not, but an audit is required for most major listings and exchanges. So this is just a step that we're getting ourselves prepared for in the future, and as well, it just lends credibility to the project as in a whole. Um, Another thing we had happen this week is we have been working with a group called Inkru, and they are based out of China, and they set us up a Weibo, and a WeChat, and they are going to be pumping out material and growing a community on those platforms for us. And that's super awesome, because China has a really, really large section of the market that if we can get them introduced into Sahu, then that just, it's better for everybody involved. Um, we have been setting up a Discord, and um, it is live, but as of right now, it's by invitation only to people, and we're trying to get all the marketing sections and people in place, and all that set up before we open it live. And so what this will do is it's not going to replace Telegram by any means. Telegram is going to be our main community, but Discord is going to be on the back end, where there's also going to be a community, but more so we'll be able to get things organized to push out to not just the Telegram community, but all the other communities like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all those. And so basically, we're setting this up to where we'll be able to be a little bit more efficient in pumping out all these ads and all these things, and marketing materials to these different social channels. We've got a lot of people that have invested quite a bit of time in setting this up, and once again, all by volunteer work. Sweat equity is where it's at, and so we're super happy about that. We plan to open the Discord up to everybody in the community sometime next week. So be on the lookout for that announcement. Um, we have been reaching out to native mobile app developers firms. Basically, so part of our goal is to have a mobile app with a swap and an NFT market by third quarter of this year. So we realized that, we can't wait till another month before we get started on this if we do plan on getting this out by third quarter. So we have been in contact with several firms and have had some pretty good interest from the ones we've contacted. Had a few tell us that they would love to be a part of our project, but honestly, it was a little more skilled and involved than things that they were used to handling, which is kind of cool. But Chop Dog is one that I have a business meeting with next week, a Zoom call, and they seem to be pretty interested. So that's exciting because they've got a quite a great portfolio of apps that they and companies that they've developed apps for. So that's where we're going on that. We are working. The next thing that is an update this week is we are working on getting our charity program set up. And as soon as we get that set up and actually going, we're going to be basically we're going to open up a second wallet. So we have the CTF, which is a community trust fund as it is right now. That goes towards all our marketing fees, audit costs, things like that. And it's open. Anybody can check the transactions in it, so it's not like it's hidden and stuff's going on behind the scenes. You can see where your money is going. But we're going to also open up a secondary wallet for charity. And so at first that's going to be basically by donation, kind of the same the CTF is. But once the NFT marketplace is up and running here shortly, 2% of all sales from that NFT marketplace are going to go into that charity wallet. And then we're going to pick, 4, maybe 5 different charities each month and let the community decide, like, hey, this is what we've saved up through your donations, through the NFT market. And basically, who do you guys think that we should give this to for donations this month? And so it's just a way to keep you guys involved and give back to the community, because we're all about community, and a big part of being about community is giving back to communities that need help. So we're totally on board with that. And fairly soon we will be looking for somebody who has some experience in running charity projects, and so we will be looking for a charity manager sometime in the future. We're not officially posting that yet, but keep an eye out for that. If you know somebody or you yourself might be interested in that, when that is posted, please let us know. So the next thing I have on my list for this update for this week is exchanges. So we've been approached by quite a bit of exchanges. Hotbit, Coin One, BKX, a few other ones. And basically, as much as we would love to be on some of these exchanges, it requires usually $30,000 to $60,000 for a listing on them, which honestly we don't have. We're community funded. I've said that already. So if any of you have 60 grand you'd like to donate, by all means. But honestly, we feel the reason for this is because when they list any token or coin, they have to have a liquidity pool on hand to handle transactions in-house, so they don't end up getting overrun. Kind of like what happened with Sheeb, and when it got listed in India, the liquidity pool that listing had wasn't quite enough to handle all the transactions that they had, and the price that it started selling for on that exchange was way higher than what the actual price was because of it. And so that's why these listings require $30,000 to $60,000 to get listed, because they got to have a liquidity pool in order to make these transactions work without having to price gouge, basically. So we honestly, like I said, we're totally not against being listed on any of these exchanges, but we feel like right now $30,000, $60,000 would be better spent on getting this app developed, because it is an expensive process. And so we're working on doing some things with that and getting this NFT project going, because that's going to be a big source of income for these marketing funds and all that as well. So our aim is to basically get to the point where these exchanges are listing us and they're buying the liquidity pool, because they know that they're missing out on this business, and we'll get there regardless of if we have to pay them or they have to pay us, or nobody pays anything anybody to anybody. We're going to get there on these listings and exchanges, but it's not a quick process. We're getting the groundwork in place to be there when we're ready, but as far as like, we're not going to jump on OKX tomorrow. It's just not going to happen. So the next thing I have in my list is about the CTF. I did kind of mention that a little bit. Like, I am super pumped that we officially have the amount needed for the audit, and we've raised that in less than a week. So once again, everybody out there in the community that was able to donate, thank you so much. Like, this is going to do so much to help further this project and give it more credibility, and just help it grow. And that investment will not be, a bad one. And so thank you for those donations. I myself personally contributed to that fund as well, just because I wanted to see this get done. And I will post a graphic right now in the chat for the community trust fund. So if there's anybody listening out there that wants to donate, that would like to give to our marketing fund, basically to help get this going and help get our name out there. As I'm sure most of you guys know, we've been approached by 10,000 different influencers on different platforms, but they all want money that we just don't have in the fund. We've been saving up everything in the fund to try to go towards this audit and get this done as soon as possible. And so, this audit's going to wipe out the CTF. So if you guys would like to donate, that would just help us, and, help us get more value to this whole thing, and more recognition. So we are scheduled for an ad on Instagram to drop here sometime in the next little bit. It's supposed to be a page that has 660,000 followers, which is pretty awesome. So I'm excited about that. And as soon as we've got notification that that's hit, we'll post that in here, and we'll all start blowing it up and getting it pumped out everywhere as best as possible. The next thing on my list.
Sorry, never mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do you mind me asking?
Yeah. Go ahead, Jake.
Was that a paid promo, or did they just willingly?
It was paid, I believe. We actually had one of the members of our group, I think, paid for it out of pocket. So.
I was just curious.
Yep. And so the next thing on my list here is CMC. We have confirmation from CMC that they have accepted our application, and they are processing it. Basically, they're in the middle of doing an API update, which is like a big update to their system. And as soon as that update is done, they have probably ours and a bunch of other applications that are already processed that just need to be pushed through their system. And so we're hoping Monday. Not 100% sure on that, but that's our best guess. That's what we were told, and so that's what we're hoping for. But we do have confirmation that is 100% coming. So pretty excited about that. The next thing I wanted to mention on my list is about the tokenomics of Sahu, because it's come to our attention that there's quite a bit of people in the community that don't necessarily really understand how our tokenomics work, and what the 2% burn means and what 2% reflection means. And so we want to take time to clarify and make sure that everybody in the community understands that. So with our token, there was a quintillion of them released. Half of those were burnt to a locked wallet forever that nobody has access to. It's multi-sig. So even if one person were to somehow hack their way into one of these passwords, they still can't get in. It's secure. It's as secure as we can get with current technology, basically, and funding. I'm sure if we had $1 billion, we could probably find something more secure. But as it is right now, this is the same way that Vitalik Buterin has his big wallet set up. So we feel pretty secure that that's a good way to do it. So 50% were burned when we launched. 2% burn means with every transaction, if you take 2% of that transaction amount in Sahu, that is sent to that same burn wallet and is forever taken out of the supply, meaning nobody will ever be able to get that back. And so by nature, that reduces the number of Sahu that are out there available to buy. So we started with a quintillion. We immediately halved that, okay, 500 quadrillion. And now within a month, we've already burnt through 8%, over 8% of that remaining 50%. So that means on this pace, by the end of the year, it's very, very, very possible that we're going to have 10% of Sahu actually available on the market. So people that are holders now that just hold, like your 4.5 trillion in 10 months, in 8 months, might be like a big majority of the supply that's left out there. And so, that's just one of the many benefits for this token system. As the number that's out there goes down with every transaction, the value has to go up. It's simple economics, supply and demand. uh, the less supply there is, if you have a big demand, the higher the price is. And then the 2% reflection means that anytime somebody buys or sells Sahu, as well as 2% being destroyed, 2% is distributed between everybody else that holds Sahu. So that means if you sell 100 trillion Sahu, 2% of that, which is going to be what, 2 billion Sahu, something like that. 2 billion Sahu is distributed, divided by however many holders there are, and put into those wallets immediately. So that means like the number of Sahu that you have is only going to grow the more you hold. So the longer you hold and just hold Sahu, the more your number is just going to keep increasing, which is pretty awesome. So not only does the number that's out there go down, but the number you have goes up in the process. And so basically long term, just by holding, you're gonna make money on this thing, and increase your investment even more so because of the increased number of tokens that are added to your wallet constantly. All right, and so I've got one more thing to go over on this update, and it's kind of the biggest thing. It's still in the works, but I am super excited about it. And then after we go over this, I'll open it up to questions, and anybody that has any questions or comments is free. But the next thing I have to go over with before that is the Sahu summer promotion that we are working on. And let me tell you what, this is going to be big. And so we're working on the logistics of getting it all set up. We're working with a couple really big name groups and household name type stuff. And so basically we're hoping to get this promotion set up. Our plan is to incorporate it with the launch of the NFT market and incorporate the NFT market launch with a sweepstakes or a giveaway, basically. And so we're looking at setting up an NFT drop for the Sahu summer, and then one lucky winner out of all those NFTs is going to be randomly chosen to receive a pretty awesome prize. And then we're going to have a few secondary prizes as well. And so we're working on getting that set up as far as the logistics and getting it paid for. And this is looking like it's going to cost an upwards of 70 to 80 grand possibly. But we are working on a marketing strategy with the NFT market to make this profitable and make it very possible. So when we do get more information on exactly what's going to be taking place as far as the who the sponsor is going to be, what we're doing, what the prize is going to be, and all those details, as soon as we get that sussed out, ironed out, and everything lined up to where it's a go, then we'll be releasing that. We're aiming to go live with the whole Sahu summer campaign sometime around the official beginning of summer. So that's June 20th to 22nd, usually somewhere in that time frame. So super exciting. This is going to put us in front of the eyes of a lot of people, and I think it's going to do amazing things for this project. And it's just getting everything set up. And once again, this is all because of people in the community that have stepped forward and said, well, hey, I know this guy, or hey, I can do this, and so we're trying to make some things happen. And so far, like I said, it's almost like a dream because things are falling into place perfectly. And I don't honestly think we could have hired a better team if we wanted to, and that's because everybody that's here believes in this project, so they're doing it out of their sweat equity and their belief that this is going to be something. And I feel like you get a way better level of performance from somebody that wants to do something as opposed to somebody that's doing it drudgingly just because they're getting a paycheck per se. Not that anybody we would pay would have that mindset, but it's a lot easier to have somebody that's on board if they're working towards an end goal as opposed to working, for a paycheck. And so, you know, once again, our community is amazing. We have people that have just came from all over that have all kinds of different skills and connections and capabilities. And this network and this community is constantly growing, and we're set to do some amazing things. This is just a short term. It's not a short term thing. A lot of people want to know, oh, when are we going to get 100x? Well, I wish I knew that, but I'm looking for losing 5 zeros, and my goal is within the next 2 years to do that. And long term, this isn't going to be an overnight thing, but if we can lose 5 zeros, anybody that's here that's an original holder that has at least a trillion Sahu, you're golden. So um, with that, and the goal is not just to lose 5 zeros and then drop everything. Like we have a long term business plan with this NFT market to get into a niche part of it that is going to give us long term stability and value for this project as well. So, like I said, don't let me deter you with the statement that 5 zeros in 2 years is the goal, because that's not the end goal. That's just a stepping stone for further goals with this project. This is a good talk. Like I said, we basically did the same thing yesterday afternoon, and we were having technical difficulties with the call dropping in and out on us, and so we weren't able to actually get a full recording of this. So now that we have this, we'll go ahead and end this call, and we'll post this at the top, so that way anybody coming in has a chance to listen to this update that we have for this week. And we'll be in touch. And it was good talking with everybody.